Hi friends, Nargis here from Mom's the Word PK. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's been a minute. Life has been quite hectic, but March 2022 is upon us and I am here to share with you my Plan With Me video. I hope that you guys enjoy it and I hope that you enjoy the theme. Also hit that subscribe button and click that notification bell so that you don't miss any future content. So let's get into it. So when I had planned out my content for this year, I had already listed coffee as a theme for March. I'd done a coffee theme last year that I really loved, and I wanted to try something a little bit different. And I was just sort of sitting and mulling over coffee beans, coffee bean and tea leaf. And I remembered the name of that cafe that used to exist. I don't know, maybe it's still around. And lo and behold, this theme just sort of came together. I've been drawing a lot this year, and this month I wanted to incorporate some printed images as well as some doodling. So I printed out coffee beans and tea leaves from Pinterest and just online, and I found some great images, and I really like how the colors of the greens and the browns came together. For the doodling, I just did some absolutely basic doodling because I'm not a drawer, but create is my word of the year for 2022, and I'm all into challenging myself this year. So I Googled and I just added in some basic drawings. I really like how it's just come together so nicely. Anyway, all the products are going to be linked down in the description box below, so you can check them out. But these Sakura Pigma Microns in different nib sizes have been absolutely stellar for creating these spreads. So my lettering throughout these spreads is very simple and inspired by Lauren Nicole, whose videos I was watching just before I created my spreads. It's just basic writing in a green Crayola marker with black cursive over top in a Pigma Micron 0.4 nib. I just really like how this look comes together. Onto my quote page. I've created a border for every single one of my spreads, and I feel like that's such a small touch that really pulls it together. Anyway, this month I am using a Charles Dickens quote, and I really like how the lettering came out on this. It reads, "It was one of those March days when the sun shines hot and the wind blows cold, when it is summer in the light and winter in the shade." So simple and so nice, but I just really like it, and it sings to the theme of March, where you're in that sweet spot between winter and summer, and the weather is just shifting. Although in Karachi, I have to say that summer has pretty much arrived. It's getting quite warm, but still, you can always have a Charles Dickens quote in your bullet journal. I feel like that's probably a rite of passage. I finished out the spread with some doodles, and that just brought everything together. On we go to my vision board. I have the same border surrounding it, and a little while into this I realized I didn't have any room for my title, but oh well, I just squeezed it in there. My vision board for this month is pretty basic. I have my coffee beans and my tea leaves because that's my theme for the month. I have the Holy Quran because I definitely want to prioritize reading that every day this month. I have a water glass because hydration, friends, is vital. I have a picture of a beautiful white bedroom because I want to finish off my daughter's room this month. YouTube because I want to focus on YouTube, and a picture of a family playing board games because, again, that is a priority for this month. Then I have some children reading because I want to focus on that with my son. A bowl full of healthy macros because, again, this month's priority. And a woman walking. So basically the vision board is just all the things that I would like to manifest this month and I would like to help myself focus on. And having this here is just a great guide. Next up is a quote page. I added this in last month's spread and I really enjoyed it. It's just a space where I can gather in different things that I hear throughout the month that really resonate with me. All right, on we go to the first spread of the month, which is the monthly calendar. So usually I go with a block calendar across 2 spreads typically, but this time I decided to go with the usual bullet journal calendar setup, which is basically in a list form. I actually found I didn't use my calendar very much in February, which is kind of surprising because I usually like keeping track of things, and it was a busy month, but I just sort of fell away from my bullet journal for those middle 2 weeks, and I thought that maybe changing up the system might pull me in a little bit. So I have my same lettering style and everything. On the left-hand side, I have my dates listed with the days of the week on the side. And then on the right, I've made a little mini calendar so I can, maybe X the days out as they go. I'm not really sure how I'm going to use this, but I did feel like having a boxed calendar somewhere in the spread was sort of vital. Maybe I just love drawing lines. I don't know what it is. So I'm thinking I would use this space maybe to block out days or just sort of highlight that, oh, hey, this day has something, and then I can look over on the left, and see what that day actually signifies for me. Down in the bottom, I have 2 sections, which I always include in my monthly spread. That is my monthly goals and my monthly measurements. These are essential, and I had considered not including my measurements this month because I am going to set up a health journal as well, which is a video that's upcoming, but I just had to have it here. So that's the spread complete, and then we're heading on over to 2 spreads. One is my kids' timetable set up because they are finally going to school full-time, and they have proper full timetables that hopefully are not going to change until the end of this academic year. And I have a brain dump page. So I'm going to go ahead and print out the kids' timetables and stick them in here. And my brain dump is just to dump everything and anything as it pops into my head. I feel like it's so important to have this sort of spread on hand. I use my notes app a lot for this, but I'm trying to reduce my screen time. And I felt like if I included this in my bullet journal, that would definitely help a lot with that. I realized I hadn't done any doodling in my spreads since my cover page, and so I decided to add in some tea leaves here. And then throughout the rest of the pages, you'll see that I didn't use any scrapbooking. So I was kind of finding a hard time to balance both of those acts, but hopefully I'll be able to use my scrapbooking images in my daily journaling in the days ahead. All right, moving on to the monthly check-in spread. So this is a spread I've been using for years. I saw it on Pickup Limes, and ever since then, I've always incorporated it in my journals, and I find it to be an incredibly satisfying spread to have. It is an opportunity to do a check-in at the beginning of the month, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. So around the 1st or the 2nd of the month, I like to sit down, just reflect on how I'm feeling, and write all of that down. I was actually thinking of filming this for you guys, a nice little journal with me and a setup of these pages. If you guys would like that, then please let me know in the comments below. I would love to share it with you. And I would love for you to try it as well. It's actually great what we can achieve when we sit down and listen to our thoughts in a silent capacity, when we really mull on those feelings and then we note them down. And reading back on these reflections is a very eye-opening experience, especially when I look back at pages from the time in the pandemic from my bullet journal. I am so surprised, and I'm actually so much in awe because we actually accomplished a lot during the pandemic, and while we remember it as one of the worst times of our lives, it is in fact one of the greatest, because those emotional feelings and everything were so charged and so open, and we did a lot of self-learning and relearning and unlearning, and I feel like we should never write things like that off. So spreads like this are great to give you something to look back on. I decided to make my titles in using a banner this time, just for fun and just to kind of add in a little bit of something different. And I'm happy with how this spread came together. So next up is my spending tracker. So this is again a spread that I've been including every month for the last couple of months. And it is so important. Guys, it's so important to know where your money is going. I am not a self-earning person. I am dependent on my husband and his earnings. And I find that it's so important for me to be aware of where we are spending our money, how we are getting things for our children, where our children are learning about finances and about money, especially in this day and age. So it's something that you should actively be aware of, and it's something that you should be paying attention to. My spread is very basic. It's just the date, the product, and the amount spent on the product. So I just have an idea of where things are going, and I have a mental budget in my mind, and I just want to see if I'm crossing that or if we're within it, and so on and so forth. Okay, on to a favorite spread of mine is my journal prompts and my gratitude log. So journal prompts, again, have been a very actively incorporated part of my journal, and I've been really enjoying having them present in my bullet journal. I did make a mistake here because I was going to say journal prompts, and then I realized that actually my gratitude log has to go there. Thank God for whiteout. Okay, guys, so the camera went a little iffy here because I still record on my phone, so it heated up and I need to give it a break. So I went ahead and I did the spread off camera. My journal prompts for this month are: how are you feeling as the month begins? Check in with yourself. How has the state of the world affected your mental health? What is your favorite beverage? Because I was thinking about coffee. Take a walk out in nature, collect some goodies, and write about your thoughts. Make a spring bucket list and complete 3 things from the list. If you're a flower, what flower would you be? Because it's March. And explain how you can better the world in this moment. I will add a close-up of this on my Instagram, so please follow me over there and check it out. My gratitude log is just a basic day listing, and I can just add in every night 3 things or 1 thing or 2 things that I am grateful for at day's end. I found this to be a very purposeful act in February, and I really, really like having this present in my journal. Okay, moving ahead to one of my favorite setups from this entire thing. I really, really like how my habit tracker and my mood tracker turned out this month. So it's been a while, actually. I have not incorporated a monthly habit tracker and mood tracker setup. I've been tracking my habits in a weekly task list, which has actually been really functional and quite useful. But at the same time, I really wanted to have 6 habits that I was focusing on with complete purpose, and just sort of make them a high priority for this month. And so that's what I'm doing. And for my mood tracker, I have a sort of a year at a glance mood tracker in my yearly setup pages. But I am going to be migrating into a new journal this month because the way that I journal, my journals usually my bullet journals are definitely more than 2 a year because I daily journal as well in them. So halfway through, or probably a week into March, I will be starting a new journal. And while I will continue to fill out that yearly tracker, I don't want to migrate all those spreads over. So I'm just going to add in monthly spreads instead because that's just way more practical. I will be sharing that process because it is a little bit different than how everybody usually does it in the bullet journal community or world. But that's the beauty of bullet journaling, is that there is no one size fits all. You do it the way that you feel works for you. So my habits for this month are reading, daily Quran recitation, reduced screen time, for myself mainly, because I feel like I keep telling the kids to have less screen time, but at the same time, my screen time is just kind of like, wow, off the charts. So I need to focus on that. And then my daily macros, which has been a priority in February, and I'm so glad to carry it into March. Morning pages, and no yelling. That's going to be a tough one, but let's see. For my mood tracker, I have just a basic chart system. I have 15 days on one side, 16 on the other. On the bottom of the graph, I have the days like 1 to 15, then I have 16 to 31. And then my moods are calm, happy, excited, sad, angry, anxious, tired, sick, or all the feelings, and I'm sure that you can all understand that one. So I'm just going to basically look up what I'm feeling on that particular day and X out that emotion. And I like this setup because I can actually choose more than one emotion, which I really, really like. So I feel like this is going to be a good system. I finished off with some doodles, and I just really like how all these the setup came together. Like I said, it's definitely my favorite. Tell me if you like it as well in the comments below. So in keeping with the focus on habits, my next spreads are my yoga and my workout spreads. So at this point, I have just basically given up on my Move with Adrienne 30-day yoga program, which he launched in January, because I tried to do it in January and I did 2 days. I tried to do it in February and I did 3 days. So I just figured, you know what, let's maybe try to change things up a little bit. And I'm doing her March calendar. I believe that her word for this month is embody or embodiment or something of that sort. So what she does is every month she puts out a calendar on her website, which you can just download, and it has all the clickable links to her YouTube videos. I'm sure you know who she is. She's absolutely phenomenal. I will link her channel down below, and her views on yoga and her absolute approach to how she offers yoga so freely to the world has been a life-changing experience for so many people, including myself. And I find that when I am on track with yoga, if I'm not, I've never done maybe beyond a week daily, but I have done a month where I've been doing it for like 15 days on and off, or 12 days on and off. And I feel like those months are just dramatically better than the months where I'm not doing it as frequently. Because while, yes, I work out daily, yoga is something that offers just something different, and it adds better, it improves my other workouts as well. So I feel like overall it has a really positive impact. So I've just listed down the workout names that she put up on her timetable, and hopefully I'm going to be able to check them off this month, and it would be nice to see at the end of the month how much I've accomplished. I would really hope that it's a lot. I hope so. So I went ahead and I listed in my workouts. So I have been doing for the last 2 months the Heather Robertson 12-week 2.0 workout routine. And I am on my last month, guys. I only have 4 weeks left and I will have completed the whole challenge, and I'm really proud of myself for that. So I've listed in all my days, my rest days and everything. And I'm just going to once again check things off as I complete them. So I just finished off these spreads with some doodles. On the yoga page, I have a tea leaf in on the workout. I have coffee beans, which now that I think about it while I'm doing this voiceover is kind of perfect because, you know, tea for yoga and coffee for workouts. That just sort of sings, doesn't it? All right, so that then takes us on to my last 2 spreads for my monthly setup. I have time and energy, which is where my time and energy is spent. I saw this on Caitlin De Silva's YouTube channel, which I'm going to link down below. She included this in her March spread, and I just thought it was such a unique idea, especially considering the state of the world right now. It is so easy for us to get pulled into what we cannot control. We can allow the noise of the world, and I'm not saying that noise is not valid or does not deserve to be heard. It is incredibly valid, and those voices need to be amplified. At the same time, for our empathetic beings, it can be a lot to constantly take on that barrage of emotion and feeling and information. It can be incredibly crippling. And so things like this kind of remind us, a spread like this is sort of a way for me to focus my energies on what I can do rather than what I cannot control. So I've included spending more time with the kids, journaling with purpose, creating meaningful content, prayer and spiritual connection, nourishing my body with good food, finding growth through daily tasks, reading daily, and reciting the words of God. I feel like these are all things that where my time and energy would be much better spent rather than maybe, say, trying to talk to someone on social media from a different perspective, or scrolling or watching the news, or just taking in stuff that I cannot, that I really truly do not have the capacity to hold. All right, so now we have my memories page. I incorporated this in last month and I still have to fill it out, but basically this is a section for me to add in 9 photos and a little summary of the month, and I'm excited to fill it out. Okay, the first weekly setup for March. It is week 9, guys. I feel like everyone is going to keep on saying that the year is flying by, and that's kind of because it is. So my setup is very, very simple, nothing complicated. I am creating a little mini calendar on the left because it's always good to sort of know which week you're in, and that's always helpful. And I have a sidebar with my events. I found that separating my events from my to-dos really decluttered my space, and that really helped me focus better. Then I have a task list. I like to use the Alistair method, which helps me just list out what I'm going to do every day, but also day-specific tasks, things that I want to schedule in advance, or things that I can do, not day-specific, but anytime throughout the week. On the right-hand side, I just have some boxes with Monday to Sunday and a section for next week. Then we have the menu for the week with a section for the kids' lunches and a menu for myself. And that's it, guys. Let's flip through March. Tell me, guys, in the comments below, which one is your favorite spread? I'm definitely going to say that the Habit Tracker and Mood Tracker did it for me this month. I am excited to fill these pages out. I always say that you don't have to go crazy with your bullet journal, but obviously the more aesthetically pleasing your pages are, the more likely you are to fill them out. All right, that brings us to the end of this video. I hope that you guys really enjoyed this setup, and I hope that you will come back for more. So do hit that notification bell, guys, so that you are notified next time there is a new video up, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.